Hi, I'm Rabbi Yitzhak Bernath, and welcome to my daily Torah thoughts. Today I want to talk about priorities. Everyone has priorities. We're constantly making choices as to what our priorities should be. Reorganizing our priorities, recognizing our priorities, being told to get our priorities straight. In this week's Torah portion, we're told about Jacob's take on the matter. Between the second half of last week's portion and the first half of this week's portion, Jacob had just faced down two deadly enemies, his father-in-law and uncle Lavan and his brother Esav. And now he's finally ready to settle down. He hopes to be able to stop living from crisis to crisis and to take time to organize his life according to his choosing. The verse says, "And Jacob built for himself a home, and for his cattle he built huts." So you might choose to view the verse simply as a practical matter. He didn't want to stay homeless, so he built himself a place. Kabbalah views this as an expression of Jacob's fundamental approach to life. He recognized that there are two parts of life. There is himself, Jacob, a human being, a person with a sensitive, godly soul, a spiritually empowered being with the capacity of touching the divine. And then there's his cattle. There's his animalistic tendencies, his lower nature, his possessions, his house, his car, and all of the manifestations of his physical self that's limited by a materialistic outlook on life. Jacob realized two things. One, that he made a choice as to the priorities of his life. He chose to establish a home. He chose to establish a permanent dwelling, a place of importance, a place of value for himself, for his spiritual self, and for his identity. Everything else in his life, everything that could have been included in the category of his possessions or cattle, he relegated to a secondary place, to a lesser degree of importance, to a lower rung of focus. So what he did was make it certain that his life would circle around values, around truth, and around spirituality. And second, despite rejecting a materialistic approach to life, he didn't destroy the material. He didn't banish the cattle. He didn't abandon his possessions. He built them huts. In other words, he recognized that they are a necessary component of his life. God put him in the physical world for a purpose. He was not to ignore the physical, but rather to refine it, to elevate it. And at the same time, he didn't allow the materialistic realities of existence to cloud his true sense of purpose, or to dim his appreciation of the true purpose on this world. We're now less than a week away from the Rosh Hashanah of the Hasidic movement, the 19th day of Kislev, which is next Tuesday. And on that day, in 1799, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the founder of the Chabad Hasidic movement, was freed from prison in St. Petersburg. He had been arrested on trumped-up charges made by opponents of his teachings, of the Hasidic teachings, and his liberation cleared the way for an unprecedented revelation and dissemination of the Hasidic philosophy that continues till this day. While Rabbi Shneur Zalman was in prison, he was often interrogated by a specific official who was very well versed in Jewish teachings. The official once asked Rabbi Shneur Zalman about the verse in Genesis where God asks Adam, "Where are you?" Why should God need to ask this question? Didn't he know where Adam was? The official assured Rabbi Shneur Zalman that he was aware of the traditional interpretation, that God wished to enter into a conversation with Adam on a subdued note, but he found it unsatisfactory. Rabbi Shneur Zalman looked at him and said, "Do you believe that the Bible is the Word of God?" He said, "Yes." "And do you believe that it's relevant at all times?" So he says, "Yes." So he says, this is the meaning of the verse. It is God's challenge to every single person at all times. A person may be this many years old, and that many days where he actually pinpointed the exact age of the official on that day. And God asks him, where are you? What have you done? And what are you doing to fulfill your mission in life? Where are you holding in the accomplishment of your goals? And with that question ringing in our ears, we're surely going to find it easier to figure out our own priorities and to take the steps that we need to take to fulfill our priorities and to set them straight. I'm Rabbi Yisrael Bernath. This is my Daily Torah Thought. Have a fantastic day.
Hi there. I just wanted to let you know that I just launched a brand new website. It's theloverabbi.com, 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 and it has lots of very interesting things there. Especially, you can purchase a lot of the different classes and lectures that I have given over the past few years, and you can also take a look at the current classes and lectures that I'm giving and the current events that I am doing on relationships. So I encourage you to go check it out. It's theloverabbi.com. Thanks so much.